There are stories buried beneath the sands of time, names whispered only by the wind, heroes lost in the pages of unread books. They lived, they fought, they bled, and they were forgotten. But today, they return. Among the Sahabah, there were 7 men, whose fate mirrored that of the sleepers of the cave, men who saw miracles, who defied death, and whose names you were never told. One of them was martyred, and the bees surrounded his body, protecting him from desecration. Another was swallowed by the earth, never to be found by his enemies. These are not just stories. These are echoes from the battlefield, calling us back to the essence of faith, the true cost of belief. And today, their message reaches you. The year was the 4th of Hijrah, a time of blood and betrayal. In the shadows of the Arabian desert, a conspiracy was unfolding, a trap set by deceitful tongues, words wrapped in honey, but laced with poison. 3 tribes plotted against the messenger of Allah: Banu Lihyan, Adal, and Kara. But they were cowards. They did not have the strength to fight openly, so they devised a different plan. They would disguise themselves as seekers of truth, beg the Prophet for a teacher of the Quran, and when the time was right, they would strike. And so, the trap was set. Rasulullah, in his mercy, sent 7 men, 7 warriors of faith, to guide the so-called new believers. But little did they know, they were walking into the lion's den. They reached the wells of Retzi, but something was wrong. The air was too still, and then the silence shattered. 200 armed men appeared from behind the hills, swords glinting under the sun. The 7 Sahabah realized they had been betrayed. A voice from the enemy called, "Surrender, we will not kill you." But Asim bin Thabit stood unshaken. His voice rang out, "By Allah, I will never accept the protection of a polytheist." Arrows knocked, battle cries rising, slow motion shot of Asim raising his bow. The battle began. Asim loosed arrow after arrow, reciting, "Death is certain, life is fleeting, whatever is destined will come." One by one, he struck them down until his arrows were gone, then his spear until it broke, then his sword until he could no longer fight. And there, he fell. A warrior whose body was broken, but whose soul was already soaring toward Jannah. Wounded but unbroken, Asim fell to his knees. Surrounded by enemies, he had one final prayer: "Ya Allah, let no polytheist touch my body." And then, he was gone. The enemy approached, eager to claim his body and parade it through Makkah for silver. The Quraysh wanted his head. A bounty had been placed on it long ago. But as soon as they reached out to touch him, something happened. They reached for his lifeless form, and then they heard it. A deafening roar, not of men, but of bees. Out of nowhere, swarms of bees descended, forming a shield over Asim's body, their stings striking down anyone who dared come close. A storm of bees descended from the sky, massive hornets, angrier, larger than any they had seen, surrounded his body. No matter how they tried, the enemy could not come near. Some ran in fear, others tried to wait, but night fell, and with it, the rains came. The floods carried his body away, ensuring no polytheist would ever touch him. The Quraysh were forced to flee, defeated not by swords, but by the smallest of Allah's creatures. His prayer had been answered. This was the power of dua. Before he died, Asim had once prayed, "O Allah, do not let a disbeliever touch my body." And so, Asim bin Thabit was buried, not by men, but by the will of the Almighty. These stories are not fairy tales, they are reminders. The story of Asim bin Thabit is not just history, it is a reminder. A reminder that true faith is unbreakable. A reminder that dua is heard, even beyond death. A reminder that Allah protects His warriors, in life and in death. Reminders of what it means to believe. Today we seek comfort. We chase after the world. We fear losing our wealth, our status, our security. But these men, they feared nothing but their Lord. And that is why they are remembered. The question remains, will we be